I'm set. I got 4 houses. I'm gonna develop these houses, and I'm gonna be a millionaire. I was happy. I was living my best life, and then 2008 hits.
Crashed.
I pretty much went bankrupt.
Wow.
I went back to zero. I was up here, and then I just went to zero.
Mr. Carlos Guerrero, he's a founder, entrepreneur, and CEO of Cutting Edge Contracting Services.
When you start something, focus on one thing. Get good at it. Be an expert at it. Like, get really good at it. And once that's working, start branching out to different things within the niche. You're depending on credit cards and loans, and you're living this fantastic life, but it's all fake. It's not yours. You don't own it. At some point, you have to pivot. You're down here. What action, what change can I do to continue my growth? So at the end of the day, I mean, things always work out. A lot of times you overthink about it. Oh, how I'm gonna afford this, or how I'm gonna pay for that, or what's gonna happen if I fail, what are people gonna think about? And you can't think like that, you just have to do it. Can't stop, won't stop, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Legacy and Billions. Today, I have the privilege of having a special guest, Mr. Carlos Guerrero. He's a founder, entrepreneur, and CEO of Cutting Edge Contracting Services, making some cutting edge designs for your home. So we're going to dive into his story, his business, and his journey. So Carlos, welcome to the show.
Chris, thanks for having me here.
Absolutely, man. It's a pleasure. It's very, very, very rare to find a Latino in business that's succeeding, that's on social media, that's empowering, that's on a mission to live a legacy, man. I love what you're doing online.
Thank you. Well, first and foremost, thanks for having me on the show. Love the suit, love the setup. Can't wait to share some stories and some knowledge.
Absolutely, man. So why don't we go ahead and dive in, get started here. I know you mentioned you were actually part Peruvian. I'm Colombian, Venezuelan. But why don't we go ahead and start with your background story? Where do you come from and how did you get started in business?
Ooh, how long do we have?
We got about an hour, but as long as it takes, man. We want to make something powerful for the audience.
So I come from Peru. I was born in Lima, Peru. And I came here when I was 6. So my parents brought me here little. We were immigrants after a while because we passed our visa, so we were immigrants, and it was just a hustle. Like, we came because we had problems over there, and I think that's where my foundation was built. Like, because coming from nothing, and like you have to work for everything, and like you appreciate of everything that you work for and you get. So that's where my passion comes from, and from there I was just a regular guy. I went to public school. I went to Kelly and I graduated from. I went to
wow,
Kelly,
so you're born and raised in Miami, South Miami.
Well, I was born in Peru. I got here when I was
raised
6. I was raised here from 6. Miami since I was 6. Never left
Made
Miami.
and did.
I am not going anywhere. 305 till I die. Yes,
I love it.
Sir. So then from there, I went to high school. Then I got my first job. I was actually a Subway manager. I was a sandwich artist. That's how I started.
Wow.
I was 14 when I started working at Subway. I worked at Subway for 6-7 years. I always been a person that I'm very committed. So I was there for a long time. I became a manager. Then from there, I got recruited. Then I started working for Sprint. I worked there for 2 years. In the transition of this, a buddy of mine had come from the army, and then because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no idea. I mean, I was a manager. So I like being a manager. I built my management skills, my training skills, my communication skills. I mean, at that time, I didn't know what I was building it. But now that I look back, I'm like, that's where I build my foundation. That's where I build my skills. By being a manager and actually training people, hiring people, firing people. So I was doing that in a very early stage. But then I needed more. Like, I had a boss. Like, you need to be at work. Like, that pressure that you have to report to somebody, it was just wasn't something sticking to me. So I'm like, I need to do more. I don't know what to do. My best friend back then, his brother, he had come back from the Marines, and then him and a partner, he started doing development. And he was doing great. He'll buy a piece of land, and then he'll grow up, he'll build a house, he'll sell it, and he was making great money. And then he actually became my mentor because I'm like, shit, I want to do that. I was single, I had no responsibility, so I was in a way that I could manage my time better. I still have my full-time job. And then he's kind of the one that kind of like got me into the construction industry by being my mentor. So basically I was able to save, I think I saved like $20,000 it was from working and stuff like that. And then with that $20,000, I was able to buy a piece of land it's by Homestead, in a bad neighborhood. But it was where we were developing. So I bought the piece of land. Then he taught me how to go to the bank, how to ask for a construction loan. I was able to get a construction loan. And then from there, it's like, you know what? All right, because one of the things that I was doing back then was like commit, then figure it out. I had no idea anything about construction. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. But just looking at what he was doing, I was like, wow, like that's amazing. I want to do that. Like, and that's where I got inspired.
You said something really powerful there, by the way, that I do want to mention to the audience. Commit, then figure it out. Commit, then figure it out. That was a big part right there.
Oh, that's been the golden nugget that I have always done. I'm also about speed too. Like, I don't like to wait. I need to go. And obviously you're gonna fail and you're gonna hit the bumps, and we'll talk more about that. But yeah, that's really important to just commit and figure it out. Because at the end of the day, I mean, things always work out. Like, a lot of times you overthink about it. Oh, how I'm gonna afford this, or how I'm gonna pay for that, or what's gonna happen if I fail? What are people gonna think about? And you can't think like that. You just have to do it. Just get it done. Like, block all that bad energy. Surround yourself with good, positive people, and you'll see how easier it gets.
Amen.
And the consistency, obviously. So then, back then, he started teaching me how to basically buy. I bought that piece of land, I got the construction loan, and then I'm like, okay, now what do I do? Okay, well, now I need to be a project manager. Now I need to hire all these people and do the construction, do a schedule. So I kind of like learn on the way. Then I was able to sell the house, make some money. I bought another one. I sold the house, made some good money. Then I started going to Coconut Grove area because I wanted to, I was doing $300,000 constructions. Now I wanted to go into the $1 million market, right? This is like 2006 and 2007. And then I was able to, back then they were giving loans to everybody. I don't know if you remember, but back then, like, you'll go to the bank, I have this, I make this, and they'll give you loans. They were just giving loans away. And this is why the market crashed. But back then I was able to actually get 4 houses in Coconut Grove all at the same time. I was living in one house, and I was developing another house, and then the other 2 I was renting them out. And I was like, you know what, I'm set. I got 4 houses. I'm going to develop these houses, and I'm going to be a millionaire, right? I was happy. I was living my best life. And then 2008 hits. The crash. So I pretty much went bankrupt.
Wow.
All the houses got short sale. I had to short sale. I didn't do bankruptcy, but I was like bankrupt because I lost everything. So I did.
You're basically wiped out.
Yeah, I got
without
wiped out.
Filing for the chapter.
And I'm so stubborn that I keep using my Amex. I mean, I had a great credit card limits back then because I was using the credit cards for the construction, so I had a lot of high limits. So I kept ranking up the credit cards to pay the mortgage, and then you get to a point that's it. I'm done. So then I did the short sales. I lost the properties. The banks took the properties back. In that transition, I was able to buy another house in Kendall that I was able to basically be my primary house. And then I remember one day they came and they took my car. They repoed my car.
Wow.
It was that bad. It was like I went back to zero. I was up here. We were going to Vegas. We were partying. I mean, I was young. I was stupid.
Right.
And we were doing all the crazy stuff. And then I just went to zero. Like, it was like a flip.
Yeah.
And now I was the problem that I had back then, that I over leveraged myself.
Jesus.
And if people don't know what over leverage yourself is, that, you basically, you're depending on credit cards, on loans, and you live in this fantastic life, but it's all fake, because it's not yours. You don't own it. It's the banks, it's the credit cards,
You essentially were counting your eggs before they hatched. Like, you were betting on yourself. You had so much internal confidence, like, I'm going to figure this thing out. And then overnight, it just didn't work out as you planned, which is part of the process, right? Sometimes you fail at certain things, and that's where most people quit and they give up, because they think that I'm done. I lost everything. I'm in debt. I'm bankrupt. My career's over, and they give up.
Yeah.
Right. But that's what really is the character development season, which I want you to get into.
100%. So then I was at my lowest point. But you know what? I still had a strong mindset. I still had this determination. I had the know-how, because by now I had already built enough confidence, which is important to build confidence by experience, right? One thing is building confidence by reading and somebody telling you. Another thing is building confidence by actually doing it. So I had built enough confidence of my ability to manage, right? Now I go back to my managing days. I was managing subcontractors. I'm managing projects. And then another thing too is I love what I did. Like, I really love to basically build something from nothing. Like create it, design it, and actually build it. It was fascinating for me. So then,
it's like a video game for you.
Yeah, like that. So a year passed by. I was still struggling. I barely making ends meet. But then I kind of say, you know what? I'm gonna take my ability of construction, my expertise, because I still have a good team. My subs were good back then, and I'm gonna use this to basically now work for homeowners. I'm gonna get a client. Instead of putting my money, I'm gonna use their money so I could renovate their house or build their homes, and that's how I kind of started in the remodeling for which now my company is called Cutting Edge Innovative, which we actually help basic professionals with the whole construction from beginning to end. So it's a one shop for any homeowner that needs any major renovations or new additions or new construction. But I started, but when I started, I was nobody knew me.
So
right?
hold up, just to make it clear for the audience, you were at the low point, you stopped, but then you made a pivot, which was actually going to the business owners and helping them redesign, renovate their own homes using their money to build and construct rather than your own.
Correct. And I love that you said the pivot. And one of the things that business owners or anybody has a problem, you have to pivot. At some point, you have to pivot, meaning you're down here, right? Pivot is like, what action, what change can I do to continue my growth and be successful? So I pivoted and I started going after homeowners to help them and make a living, right? So then I started doing like driveways, I started doing bathrooms, I started doing windows, like any little project because nobody knew me. And then little by little, I was able to build my reputation of a trustworthy contractor because I always did what I said I was gonna do. I always commit, because when I commit. I'm full in, invested, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get it done. So
if somebody was interested in getting into the construction business, you would recommend that they get started with driveways and bathrooms, the smaller projects before getting into the bigger ones?
You have to build your reputation. So if you could get to the big ones, great. But remember, if you're gonna try to go for a big project, now you're gonna be dealing with a different type of professional. Right. If you're gonna go for a $500,000, $1 million project, you dealing with a different individual. This individual is gonna do the research. And if you're going against somebody like me that has an established company with great reviews, how are you gonna get the project, right? Okay, well maybe you could be less than me, but are you gonna be able to provide the service and the stuff that I provide? The
resource and to be able to deliver with excellence.
Exactly.
Because one of the core values you mentioned was integrity, right?
Yes, definitely. So then I kind of, going back to the story, I kind of basically pivoted. I started building my company. It was me in my truck, and little by little I was able to expand my business. It took me a long time to build my business. I was stubborn. I wanted to do everything myself. I was wearing all the different hats. The problem is when you're small too, you have to wear all the hats. You're doing your marketing, you're doing your sales, you're doing your operations, you're doing your estimates. You're basically doing everything. You're doing your accounting, billing. And the problem is that when you're doing it by yourself, you only trust yourself to do it right. But then you cap yourself. You're at a cap. You can only do so much in certain hours. So my problem was, number one, and this is a lot of people's problems, is that you're too small and you can afford it. You can't afford to pay somebody else because you're like, okay, how do I pay my bills, right? But at some point, you have to break through that fear and say, you know what, I need to hire somebody to basically so I could grow. And the easiest way to do that is basically you do a list of things that you feel that could be done by somebody else, like paperwork or going by materials or whatever somebody else could replace it. And then you do a job description. You hire somebody to take care of their responsibilities so that you could focus on the most important things, which is growing your business.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, a lot of business owners, they're not a business owner. They basically have a job. Yeah. Right? They're their own boss. And a lot of times it's harder to be your own boss than actually working for somebody when you're small. Yeah. Very complicated. So, and then the rest is history. I was able to build my company to over 9 figures. And now, we continue growing. And now from the cutting edge innovative, I was able to branch out. Because another thing too is once you own a business that is doing well, I'm going to give you a tip. When you start something, focus on one thing. Get good at it. Be an expert at it. Get really good at it. And once that's working, start branching out to different things within the niche, right? So for an example, for me was, okay, I was great helping homeowners in construction. So now I open up another company, Cutting Edge I have actually a bunch of cutting edges. So it's cutting edge innovative. Then I have cutting edge home improvement, which I help other people do what I'm doing. Then I have cutting edge mentoring. We do online coaching. We do training, and we help people scale their businesses. And I also have cutting edge real estate investments, which that's where I buy my investments and I flip. And now I'm jumping into multifamily. So I have a lot of things, but I was able to create all these other revenues because I was able to be successful in my main business. Until today, my main business is my main business. That's the business that I have to take care of, that it's self-producing in order for me to branch to
it feeds the
other
ecosystem
ideas.
pretty much.
Exactly. Because if I'm gonna tell you I could help you grow your business, start or grow your business from 0 to 10 million, if I could tell you that, well, I need to show you that I'm doing it. So I'm not just teaching how to do it, I'm actually doing it, and I have the Carfax to prove it, right? So that's really what helps.
100%, man. And that's a great story. So at that time when you were helping these business owners, not these business owners, I'm sorry, when you were helping these homeowners with the bathrooms, the paveway and all that stuff, from there you started landing more projects and you started growing, and then eventually you started not outsourcing, but hiring a team and actually building a total company.
Correct.
And then from there, it's when it started scaling up.
Exactly.
Got it.
Like you have to build a foundation. So that for me, that foundation was, going back, we could just talk here all day, but the foundation of business is really you have to, either you create it yourself or you hire somebody with that experience to help you create the foundation. And what is a foundation? You gotta create like a mission, a vision, a core values for your business. Where are you going? Number one. Number two, you have to create processes and systems for every department. In my business, we have 3 main departments. We have the marketing, which, most companies have this department. You have the marketing, right? Hey, I'm here to bring attention, right? And provide value so people gonna wanna work with you, or at least ask you for your services. Then you have the sales process, which is, okay, now that I got your attention, how can I offer my services and provide you value so that you basically pick me to offer you my services? And then you have operations. Okay, now I need to deliver what I said I was going to deliver, right? So in a business, you have to grow all 3 together. If you grow marketing too fast and you get too many leads, but you can't close them, then you're off balance. If maybe you close them, but now you cannot deliver what you're going to say, at some point, the leg is going to break and it's going to affect your business. You're going to get bad reviews, or you're going to over leverage yourself, or whatever it is. So it's so important to really build a foundation. And then once you build a foundation and you have process and you have systems and you know it works, because at the end of the day, your job in a business is to take your customer or your client through a pipe, right? A sales pipe, not a sales pipe, through a client journey. And what does that mean? Well, the client, you're solving a problem for a client. What's their problem? Okay, well, they want to remodel. They want to do whatever it is. And this is any industry, by the way. Well, your job is to take the client from 0 and take them complete the whole circle to finish and deliver what they wanted. So having the process that you know that you could do that, then you could start scaling out. And then you could start investing more money into your business so that you could get more activity and more people in your team.
That's phenomenal. Well said, man. That was incredible. And so for you, when did your business really start getting to the next level? Was it when you started building a team? When was that stage for you?
You know what? I'm glad you asked that, because that really, for me, it was like probably about 6-7 years. And what really did it for me is that, and this is for everybody, like this is what you need to do. You have to invest in yourself, period. You start here, mindset. You got to change the way you think. A lot of times we live in this little box. We're comfortable. And if you're not willing to do different things and things outside the box, that's everything. So invest in yourself by learning. Invest in yourself by meeting other people that are there, connecting with them, getting into groups that are people going to push you. A lot of times, and again, this is for business owners. And it's okay if you want to have a job. You know, if you want to have a job and work your 9 to 5 and go to the office and leave, that's fine. We need those people too. But for the business owners, is you have to work on yourself, and you have to surround yourself with people that also want to build companies, the people that also want to build empires, and people that also want to build wealth, right? Because there's different types of people. So if you're stuck in a niche group of people that all they care about is talking about gossip and talking about this and that, you're not gonna be able to go where you want to go because you're surrounded by the wrong group. So being in an association, being in a group of people like mindset is gonna be very important as well for your success. So that's really when I changed. I started investing. I started going to one of my biggest mentors that has helped me is Grant Cardone. I don't know. I'm sure you know him. So I mean, I've been with Grant Cardone for over 8 years. I'm actually an investor with him too. I done all his programs. Till this day, I invest in coaching. Till this day, and I invest over $1 million with him. Not invest, but like invest in real estate, but also invest in mentorship. Like
Right.
way over $1 million. But I got him way more back.
Yeah.
And that's really what took me from here to here.
Got it.
Invest in yourself.
Got it. And coming from somebody that had never invested before, when you first made that investment, what were you feeling? What was going through your head? You were like, man, I don't know. Do I have to dish out 10 racks here? Why am I going to give all this money? What was that process like for you?
The process was that I was frustrated. I was, you know what? I tried so many different things. I kept failing. And I learned along the way. It was like, you know what? I need to make a change. And I mean, the first investment I made, it was $1,000 for a course that I did, right? And then over little by little, I'm okay, oh shit, this works. Hey, I just learned something new. You guys may get something, a little nugget from this interview, and then you apply it to your business and you're like, shit, what he said makes sense. Because every time you go to these trainings, it's not about doing the whole training, it's about picking little certain things. And then you start applying those. Because for me, for example, in my business, 5 years ago, what I learned 5 years ago, I was not ready to apply everything that I was learning back then. Now I'm able to apply more things that I was learning, but as you're growing, you have to apply where you are. Like everybody's in a different stage in their business. In my case, you know, I could go right now and hire a CEO if I wanted to for my company. In yours, wherever you are, maybe you can't hire a CEO. Maybe you just have to hire an office clerk. You know, those are little things that really changes us.
Got it. So mentorship, having access to the mentor who's been there, done that, and can show you the way so you can shorten the time frame to have the success.
Yes, and that is so important. And I was cheap, right? And I was cheap and I was afraid because I couldn't afford it. But the problem of not investing in yourself and not investing in a mentor that could help you get there is it's just going to take a lot more time, like you said. And time is money. Like now, for me, is speed. Is this gonna get me to point B much faster? Okay, yes. Then I look at the price. Okay, let me negotiate on the price. But a lot of times people just look at the price, but they don't look at the big picture, and that's also been like another mindset I had to change.
Got it, man. And what would you say, looking back, what's the number one thing you've learned from Grant that's really helped you grow, whether it's personally or professionally?
Well, one of the things, commit, then figure it out. That I'm sure that came from there. Commit, figure it out. Another thing, surround yourself with the right people. Be in the room with the right people. I actually went to Grant's house, and then I was like overwhelmed. Like I'm here sitting in a $40 million house on the water. There's a video on my Instagram.
I saw it. Yeah.
So, but it was, just being there, and it's like, wow, what I'm doing. Like, you know, there's no limits. Like, look at these people that I'm surrounding myself, like millionaires and billionaires. I'm like, wow, I want to get there. I want to be that. So it just keeps you pushing. So, and again, that's really what I learned from him. Surround yourself with the right people. That mindset is so powerful. Invest in yourself. It's just so many stuff that I have learned. And then the rest is technical stuff, right? Like, you know, how to do practical stuff, how to do something in your business, because everybody's have a problem in the business.
100%, man. And so you also have an incredible culture from what I've seen online that you show within your business. I saw a story the other day and it was like, hey, cutting edge. I think it was like a Thursday meeting. You had probably 15, 20 people in there. How many employees do you have in the company right now?
Innovative we are about 25 full-time employees, W-2. But I mean, the thing is that we subcontract a lot, and we actually want to change that. I want to start hiring more laborers, and so I'm going to start doing that. That's my next plan of scaling, because with the amount of revenue, we should be easily 200 people, but since we subcontract 80%, but that's my next mission on the company. That's my plan for that company now.
Got it. How do you still maintain quality standards and excellence when you subcontract? What do you look for when you're looking to find somebody else for a project, maintaining your quality of work?
Well, like I said before, like everything is a process. So every project manager that I have, they're fully in charge of the project. And by giving my project managers full control of the project and give them the steps and give them the proper training, they're basically in charge of doing daily inspections. Now, the question, it also goes to the other part. When you hire the subcontractors, there's also a process that we need to follow, a guidelines that either they're going to qualify to work with cutting edge or they don't qualify to work with cutting edge. So we go through an intense qualification process, like interviews. We get references. We go to the job site, see what they're working. We see how they work. Do they work organized? Do they work clean? Do they have license? Do they have insurance? How long they've been in business? Are they experts in the type of projects that we want them to do? And once we qualify them, then we bring them to bid for us.
So you do your due diligence before?
Yeah, we do full qualification before we onboard anybody, whether an employee or with a subcontractor. But again, it's having a process and system for everything and being super organized. You guys don't understand how important is being organized and having everything written down and having like step by step. I am very step process driven. Like everything for me is a step. Even with my team, when there's a problem, what are the steps for the problem? Okay, what's step one? Well, step one is what should I have done? What could I have done to avoid the problem? Because I need you to don't point fingers. You're fully responsible. Number one. Number two, okay, what is the best solution for the problem? And let's move forward and let's learn from it so it doesn't happen again.
I love that. That's great leadership. And what are some of the principles you have instilled in the company for you to grow it to where it's at right now and develop that culture that you have?
Well, the culture it really starts with the core values, right? So we got 6 core values: commitment, attention to detail, result-oriented, leadership, organized, and speed. So everybody in the team gets trained with those 6 core values, and is constantly training, constantly talking about the mission, the vision of the company. So once you have everybody dialed in with the same culture, with the same mission, then that's when you could continue growing. Because you need people to grow. You need teams, but you need the right people in your organization. So even now when I hire people, the first thing I hire people is like, I want to understand what is your culture. I want to understand who are you deep inside. Are you a go-getter? Are you willing to do whatever it takes, or you're laid back? If you're laid back, then we're not going to be a fit. In construction, you have to be aggressive. You have to go get it. You have to be a problem solver because it's construction, right? And this is what we're promising our clients. We're promising our clients that we're going to take them from point A to point Z as smooth as possible, with high quality work, with as best as we can, to exceed the expectations. So we're also very strong. That's part of our mission, exceeding clients' expectations. So when you start with that, and everybody in the organization understands this is why I have to make my decisions. Like I tell my people, when you have to make a decision, you have to ask yourself too: is this going to exceed clients' expectations? If it's no, then look for another option. But it's always about, it starts with the mission and the core values.
100%, and maintaining those standards. I love that about you. I admire and respect your leadership for that. I could see it off in social media, which brings me to my next subject. How important is it to build your personal brand in social media marketing as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, as the business owner? What kind of impact does that have for you?
It's probably one of the most important things you could do for yourself. You have to build a community. And what I mean by build a community is like, build people that your niche, whatever you're interested in, and build a community of people that you could learn from, and vice versa, you could teach something. Because at the end of the day, for me, it's about really growing, making connections, collaborating. We're here because we met in events. Okay, people don't know this, but I just met this guy in a network event we went. He was talking to a guy. I'm like, hey, this guy looks like a handsome, good look, talk. let me go interrupt. And I just walked in there. And I say, hey, what's up? You tell us.
Literally,
yeah. Right? I just walked in there. I got into conversation between you and another guy. I thought you guys seemed like, you guys could be a good opportunity to meet. And I just went and I talked to you. And then here we are.
Collaborating. Yeah. That's phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
And so where do you see Cutting Edge going in the next 10 years? What's the vision for the company?
Well, right now we have an 8-year projection to hit 125 million. Cutting Edge Innovative. Then, because I have different stuff. Then we have the Cutting Edge Mentoring, which we want.
It's a new division that's going to be opening up.
We actually opened that. It's funny because you say just open it, but I've been teaching people for a long time, very
Behind closed doors.
Yeah,
Not that
very,
it's officially released to the market. People know
Yes.
that it's available.
Exactly. And the reason that I did that, and the reason that I'm gonna go now push harder on it, is because now I have the Carfax. Now I have the success stories, and this is how I built my first business. Like I needed to do kitchens, I needed to do bathrooms, I needed to do repairs, I needed to do driveway to have a success story to then grow my business. Same with the coaching, with the mentoring. Now that I have success stories, now I could basically put more flame into the business and then grow the business, and at the same time help the people. Because at the end of the day, any business that you do, if you switch your mindset to how can I help them, like genuine, how can I help them, it's gonna change everything completely for you. You're gonna see different results. The biggest issue that I had at the beginning is I was so thinking about how can I make money? How can I make money? How can I make money? So when you go in with that mentality, how can you make money? You ain't gonna make money. You're gonna be broke like I was, right? But when you switch the mentality, how can I help? How can I help? How can I help? How can I help? Then the money comes. The money just flows. It's incredible.
Amen, man. You're preaching, brother. I love it.
Hallelujah.
So what is for you, you've built a company of great magnitude. You're successful. You're a Latin immigrant. You've now opened and built multiple companies. What's your driving factor? What is the why behind what you do?
Well, I haven't scratched the surface, to be honest with you. Like I'm just
I know you're just getting started,
started.
but for some people that are looking, they're like, man, I
Yes.
would want to be there.
Well, I look at Grant Cardone. I would want to be there, like that, and that's why my motivation is I want to build wealth, not just for me, but for my kids and their kids. That's my why. Like I want to be. Right now, I have 3 daughters. I love my daughters to death. I have 3 daughters, and I am their superhero. Papi, because they're little, at 7, 10, and 12. And I'm the superhero, right? But at some point, I'm not gonna be the superhero no more. But I want to be the superhero for the rest of my life. To them. So what better way to be the superhero? By building an empire that they're proud, like, wow, my daddy built that. My daddy did that for us. Wow. People admire my dad. Like, that's what I want. For them and for my grandkids.
It's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I love that. How important is family to you?
Very important.
Yeah.
And it's in business, because you have personal, professional, financial, you have to have a balance. Like, I see, and now, family is like, I'm gonna talk about my family, my wife and my kids. That's most important. You're gonna have family in your family, your aunts, uncles, whatever, that maybe they're not the right family because they're negative or they're and I just push myself from that. Like I don't want to be around negative people. I don't want to be around people that are gonna doubt me, that are not gonna like help me
Elevate.
Yeah. Like I don't want to be including family. So some family I had to push back because of that. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because I have my family and they support me. But the most important thing is that they understand, and it's about compromising and understanding. Like I'm with my family every day between 8 and 10 p.m. Between the time I get home and the time I put them to bed, I'm with my family. I'm with my family Saturday and Sunday all day, unless we have like, a certain something happens. But then I'm at work between Monday through Friday between 10 and 6. So having a balance is so important. Having a routine is so important. Like that's gonna be so important. I like to do my personal stuff. I like to go to the gym. I go to the gym every day. I have my guys' night Thursday nights, which was yesterday, so I'm a little tired right now. But every Thursday we do guys' night. I play racquetball in the morning with my friends. So you want to have a balance. And that's really has like I love having a balance and a routine. I'm very routine. If you guys could do a routine, it just you be more efficient when you have a routine, because it's just second nature.
Absolutely. And that was going to be my next question. What is that routine from the moment you get up? You got to run the companies. You got to get going. What are your daily habits?
My routine now is basically I get up like at 7:30. I have my protein shake. I go to the gym for an hour and a half. Come back home, take a shower, have breakfast, talk to my wife. Then I get work, and then I go to the office, or I come here to a podcast. And then I leave the office like around 6. I mean, I work in the office. I'm there. I go to lunch meetings. I go to meetings when I need to. I get back home, and then basically it's girl time. I cuddle with my girls. I get my 3 daughters every night. I have to give him back his scratches. I gotta give him a little massage. I gotta bring him cereal to the bed. So like that's my routine. Then I put him to bed. I take a shower, and then I start watching. I like to watch educational stuff rather than once in a while watch like a stupid show. But I'm always watching like educational stuff, hearing other stuff, like hearing more about business, about growth, leadership, and then I go to sleep, and that's it. Monday through Friday. Never changes. Friday night I do a movie night, and Saturday and Sunday is whatever my wife says. She controls the schedules on the weekends because most of the times we have kids activities, we have friends and stuff like that. So, and we have, but that happened because not by chance. That happened because me and my wife communicated about that. It's so important to communicate with any relationship, a partnership relationship, employee, your wife, your spouse, your girlfriend. Have that communication and see how you guys could work together. So for me, my wife everything is great because we understand each other. Like we have that routine. So, and we respect each other's time.
Carlos, you've been stellar, and I want to ask you one final question. How do you want to be remembered? What do you want your legacy to be?
As a fucking warrior.
Let's fucking go.
As a warrior, let's go.
Guerrero in the house.
Whatever it takes mindset.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
That's it.
So is there anything that I haven't covered that you'd want to share?
No, man. I think we said a lot.
We knocked it out. We got it out the park, man.
You knocked it out of the park, looking all sharp, asking
great
questions.
It's all about you, brother.
Fact finding. Love the fact finding. Look at that.
Man, it's a privilege and an honor, and really this is to put you on the spotlight, to highlight your success, your commitment, your dedication, and to be able to give this out into people that aspire to have similar success or even better, right? Because you're just paving the way for people to be like you or be better than you, right? Because a rising tide floats all boats.
Yes, 100%. You couldn't have said it better.
Beautiful, brother. So for the people that want to follow you, learn more about your journey, where can they find you?
Go to my personal page, Carlos Your Contractor. You can't miss it, Carlos Your Contractor. I also have another page only for contractors, for the business owners.
Fans.
The what?
I said it, you're like only for, I'm like only fans. No, we don't want to promote that here.
Only for, because it's not FOR, it's not the number 4.
Got
only
it.
for Contractors is our other coaching company for contractors, and then my personal Carlos Your Contractor.
Beautiful.
That's where you can find me.
Well, guys, follow him, check him out, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Can't stop, won't stop. Let's go.
Yeah.